Today I will be talking about the new Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, the not so elected Prime Minister that we got in Great Britain. And even though he's been brought in to try and help the Conservatives, and maybe to what am I saying? Okay, the new Prime Minister appears to be what you may call a compromise candidate. The Conservatives are hoping that he will help them win the next general election. This will not happen for a number of reasons. The Conservative won the last election not by the total number of votes cast, but they won more seats anyway. They were able to win more seats because the main theme of that election campaign was get Brexit done. Which okay, they won the election and we had Brexit anyway. There is now we what happened was for them to be able to win the election, they had to go into some sort of unofficial alliance with Nigel Farage's Brexit party. When I say unofficial, I mean in some localities whereby there were a lot of support for either the Labour or the Lib Dem, the what they did, I mean when I say they did, the Conservatives and the Brexit party did was to, or you could call them the UKIP. What they did was to decided or agree not to feed candidates against each other because they both had one purpose or one manifesto or agenda, which was the Brexit. As a result, they were able to win more seats than they would have done if they did not have some sort of agreement or alliance with Nigel Farage's Brexit party. Had the Labour Party and the Liberal Democrats did the same thing, I very small doubt that, number one, that the Tories would have had such a huge majority. If I thought they won, it would have been very, very close or a deadlock parliament. But it happens. While not everyone that supported Brexit could be termed as being anti-immigrant, you could argue most anti-immigrants were Brexit supporters. Now, you now have a new prime minister, which some of these people that voted for Conservatives might not be very comfortable with. Already, we've had, just before he was due to become prime minister, there were phone calls to some radio stations. I think it was LBC. I listened to that one. And there was a caller who claimed he is a member of the Conservative Party and that his father is or was chairman of the local Tory party. And he said, which was a bit rich actually, or ridiculous, that the new prime minister, Mr. Sunak, is not British. When he was challenged He said being born in Britain does not make you British. And he gave an example of his friend that was with him in the armed forces who was born in Uganda. But simply because this person was even no, because this person was white anyway, even though he was not born in this country and probably came to this country at a later time in his life, he or she is English or British. And I'm not actually surprised because many people in Great Britain seem to have that view. I remember quite clearly during the last European championship, the Euros. Many of the English players or many of the footballers that play for England were non-white. But when they lost at the end, many were attacked. Many they were accused of being unpatriotic, which I know the government came out. People say, "Oh, that's not right. That's not good." But it shows that there are people out there that only accept you as being English or British only when you're white and when you do something for them. There are many people that serve in the British Armed Forces that are non-white, but people tend to forget that. In fact, the World War, the First and Second World War, without the empire or the colonies, are very much doubted that the Allied forces or Britain will have performed as well as it did, or were able to go to that length to defeat the Nazi Germany. At the same time, you could see the sentiment of some of MPs regarding Rishi Sunak's color or his origin. One MP, I think Nadine Doris, or where she basically said that Rishi Sunak does not have the mandate. But at the same time, other MPs will tell you, oh, the mandate is not for an individual, but for the party. But because Boris Johnson did not want the could not get the ticket, could not get back into number 10, they are now saying, oh, no one else has got the mandate, but he has got the mandate. And even the guy that called into the LBC radio forgot that Boris Johnson was not even born in Britain anyway to start with. And as far as I know, his grandfather is from Turkey, or great grandfather is of Turkish origin to some extent. So, what exactly was he trying to say? We all know what he's trying to say, and people know what he's trying to say. So, what I'm trying to say is, even though Rishi Sunak is the prime minister, which is historical in itself, but at the same time, I can confidently predict, unless hmm, something unusual or dramatic happens, will the Tories get back into power? I can foresee a very big or landslide for the Labour Party at the next general election, simply because of the Tories' um, leadership. And also, to be honest, frankly speaking, I got nothing against the new prime minister, but he does not appear to be a good campaigner. Somebody that can, he hasn't got that kind of charisma, oratory, being able to talk to people, um, relate to people that are not, that is not used to. He's more of a corporate person, which I'm not really sure that will help the Tories in terms of the campaign strategy. But having said that, the current Labour leader also It's a bit dry actually. It's more of well, I think the poll. I mean the leader of the opposition and Rishi Sunak seems to have something in common in that they are both not good crowd pullers or being able to talk. Like Boris Johnson has got the charisma, the flamboyance, he's a bit of an entertainer, and neither of the current leaders has got that kind of charisma or characters. But at the same time, I believe that the Conservative will lose, almost certainly will lose the next general election. So I will say, yes, Rishi Sunak is in, but the Conservative will be out. It's only a matter of time. Uh, anyway, I think that's where I'm going to round up this video. It's a short one. I'm just giving my thoughts regarding the new. Just in this park is a. I'm in one of those beautiful parks here, and here in my little. Well, it's supposed to be a city, but people don't really hasn't got. We haven't got the city status, but well, Northampton is one of the biggest settlements, or whether you want to call it city or town. I think it's probably in the top 15 or top 20 in Britain. Well, in most countries it will be a city or a very good city, but for some reason, due to what happened in the past, I think the gunpowder plot and a few other plot against the monarchy and the parliament, and the city was the town of Northampton was burned down. And just give me a little bit history about Northampton itself. And the queen or the king at the time, more or less said that they will not allow, made a proclamation or whatever, whereby it will not be granted a city status or charter. Yes, and if for your information, Northampton is supposed or reportedly had one of the first universities in Great Britain, probably before Cambridge or Oxford. I think it was about the same time as Cambridge and Oxford. It would have been the third or thereabout or fourth university in Britain, but then it was burned down as the punishment for revolting against the king and the parliament. Okay, enough history. Um, okay, now there we are. Thank you very much for visiting this channel. If you have not subscribed, please do so. It costs you nothing. And please don't forget to press that like button and share with your friend. Thank you and have a good day.